name is Taylor Salmon, and this is my dashboard project. First, I'm going to talk about my thoughts about this project. I think that in the beginning, it was very overwhelming to see everything and what we had to make in the finished product. And just looking at that made me think that I wasn't going to be able to do it and that it was a lot of work. And it was a lot of work. It was a very time-intensive process, but in the end, I think very rewarding. Um, I learned a lot out of making this dashboard, and I think that if this is something that's very practical and something that I could apply to my major. Another thing I think about the dashboard is that I really enjoyed it when it was done. I was proud of what I'd created. And I think that it's something that you look at and you understand what you're looking at rather than looking at the raw data. I thought that the end result was very nice. What I learned out of creating this dashboard is, first off, a lot of patience. But more importantly, I learned that there's so much that you can do with Excel that people don't know about. And it's something that you should know about because, especially going into, for me, I'm a marketing and management major, and I already work in an office. I use Excel all the time, but I never until now knew how to do something like this. And who knows, maybe one day they'll ask me to do something like this. And I'm just really glad that I can say that I was able to learn that. I know that in most classes when you take them, you learn a bunch of things throughout the year, and once you have the test, you forget about it. But this isn't the case with this class. I feel like this is something that I'm really going to take with me. Making this dashboard was definitely very frustrating, but I really did learn a lot in the end. And even in my office now, whenever they need something done with Excel, I'm the one that they look to. But my improvements from the beginning of the year, or from last year when I started working for them until now, when they asked me to make a chart, that chart's in alphabetical order, and it looks really nice, and I know how to format the cells, and I know everything that I need to do to make that chart look good. And that's not something that I knew how to do before in the beginning of this class, and it's also something that I'm very proud of. So this is my thermometer chart, and I chose this chart because it was the most interesting to me. It was one of the easier ones for me, but I just enjoy the way that you can see the differences in this case I have casual subscriptions versus registered subscriptions. You can see the difference between the two side by side, but it looks cleaner than having it on just a regular bar chart. And you can really see the difference because here in 2011, the orange, the registered, is all the way down, but then in 2013, it's higher above the casual. Another reason why I chose this chart is because when I was conducting my interviewee really took to this chart. This chart was his favorite. What he said about it was that, similar to what I had just stated, he liked that the data was being compared in such a close-knit way. And when I told him that it was called a thermometer chart, he really enjoyed that as well because it does look like a thermometer. Another thing about this chart is that this was one of the first ones that we learned how to do in class. And so when we were doing the dashboard, when we first started, I started out with a pie chart or my trending line chart, and then when I got to this one, I felt like I really knew what I was doing because this one was the one that I really knew how to do from the beginning. And that is my dashboard presentation.